If we look at the daily chart of the US dollar index, which shows us the dynamics of the US currency versus the currencies of America's main trading partners, we can see that there is some consolidation below 102 mark and above 100 level on the downside. As last week, the pair formed a kind of falling shooting star candle on the daily chart. This is a candle with a long upper wick, which showed us that it is very difficult for the market to stay around 102 mark and went lower. The scenario that we are having a double top below 102 seems like a very viable scenario. However, we can see that on Friday the pair managed to close far from its minimum and actually formed a hammer candle. As a result, we are currently seeing US dollar consolidating within this kind of triangle, and it looks like some more consolidation is taking place before we are going to see the break of either support or resistance level. If we are talking about more precise technical levels for the US dollar index, I would like to mention 101.70 as resistance. Also, there is resistance at 101.35. This is 50-day moving average. And on the downside, support is located around 100.40. This is 100-day moving average, and we have the psychologically important support at 100.0. All in all, we can say that the main disappointing factor for the American currency was the Federal Reserve's meeting minutes, which was released last week. Many traders expected the minutes to turn out hawkish because the recent comments of the Fed Chair Janet Yellen were hawkish. However, the central bank statement released on February the 1st, right after the meeting, was dovish, as we may remember, and the minutes echoed this dovishness. So no wonder US dollar got hit and got under negative pressure. In addition, last week, the new US Treasury Secretary, Steven Mnuchin, said that any policy steps that Trump administration takes would likely have a limited impact this year. So we can see that as a result, the bullish impulse which was provided to the US dollar by Trump's pledge to unveil phenomenal tax plan has decreased. So we saw US dollar rising on this bullish impulse since the beginning of February. US dollar gained on the expectations that Donald Trump will unveil tax reforms, but recent comments by Treasury Secretary that actually there is no hurry to do that somehow reduced the bullishness of the US dollar and made it consolidate around 101 mark. However, as you probably know, one of the biggest events of this week is the speech of the US President Donald Trump to the Congress. Actually, this is the first time Trump addresses the Congress during his presidency. There are a lot of questions. He is expected to cover from healthcare to the thing in which we are most interested in, that is taxes and fiscal stimulus for American economy. So this event, the expectations that Trump will say something, that he will confirm his intention to deliver this phenomenal tax plan, made US dollar feel support on Friday and made it turn away to the upside from its minimums. I think that ahead of the speech by Donald Trump, which will take place on Tuesday evening, it will be during the US session at 9 p.m. Eastern Time in America. So for Asian and European traders, this speech will actually take place early on Wednesday. And I think until then, US dollar will be pretty supportive. But many analysts from the big banks and other experts fear that Trump's comments are going to disappoint the market, that he won't tell us the details of the tax plan, and actually that investors and traders are getting ready. They will be go looking for the lack of details in Trump's speeches, and they will be ready to sell the US dollar. So as long as American currency is trading below 101.50 in terms of the US dollar index, the overall outlook for it will be negative. And the risks to the downside for the US dollar this week are greater than the risks to the upside. This is a kind of prevailing market sentiment at the moment. Traders decided to take some kind of wait and see mode until Trump will speak, but they are preparing for some negative outcome for the US dollar from this speech of the US president. To give some credit to such approach, we can remember that Trump did actually mention that the US dollar was too expensive, while some other currencies were too cheap, too undervalued. So it would be pretty logical from Trump to try to once again to speak the US dollar, talk the US dollar down. So the only thing he has to do for that is to say that America is preparing some tax measures, but they will come in the coming months. So if he doesn't give us the details, then it would be a negative scenario for the US dollar. However, if Trump has prepared the phenomenal tax plan as he has pledged the market, and if this plan exceeds the market's expectations, then we'll probably get a big boost of the US dollar above 102 mark. So I guess that we have to wait and see. But if Trump really unveils this big tax plan, then it will probably be a start for a big movement of the US dollar, targeting highs of late 2016 around 103.50, 104. So I think that traders will have time to join this bullish trend of the US dollar if that will be the case. In the opposite chance, which looks more likely, as I may repeat, is that Trump will lack details and that the US dollar will once again go down to test support levels around 100 level, and the next level to watch in this case will be another round level in the area of 99 for the US dollar index.